Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, this might end up being the quietest summer we ever have with Distillery. No players have joined the club yet. No one other than the released players have left the club yet. But we've got a friendly draw in Europe to start us off again, and there might be some big signings round the corner. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 71 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back to start season 9 of our Build a Nation story, and we have been given a pretty friendly draw, I would say, in Europe. We face Europa FC of Gibraltar, but if we get through, we will be facing Salzburg, and they have got a team of very good players. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. We'll also have a look at what might happen later in the summer and a tiny bit that has happened so far. So if you're looking forward to all of that, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But let's firstly start with what might or might not happen for the rest of this summer and a tiny bit of news that we've already got. Most of it will not surprise you at all. So the only confirmed news so far is the players that were released at the end of their contract, and I think you can see 4 first teamers in that lineup, certainly from the end of the season in May 2030. So Daniel McGill, who was a good servant in the lower leagues, a great lead of the mentoring groups, but didn't have the ability for the top tier. He has moved on. Sean Moore went after a year out on loan. Rory Brown, the third choice keeper, left, and Taylor Hart, who was a squad player a couple of years ago too. But when I say nothing's happened this summer, I mean it. Nothing has happened this summer so far. However, at the moment, there are 2 players being linked with moves away. The first of them is Ben Owen, who came back from his loan. TNS again trying to fund us with a 26 grand transfer. Ben Williams possibly going out on loan again too, but that will depend on whether we can get the player below him, and that is Jules Mboyo. He is an 18-year-old free agent we're looking at. If they replace Williams and Owen, it's fine because they're not homegrown in the nation. If they have to replace a Northern Irish player, it becomes a problem. So he's one we're looking at as a centre-half option. In midfield, the star man would be Matthew Rothwell. What a signing he looks on paper. But again, lots of interest and offers from the EFL. I'd be shocked if he turns up here. And Matthew Apter is the final one. I'm not fully sure on him yet, but we got Colin McCann in last January as our backup number 10. And he couldn't really stay fit. So, albeit he's not a homegrown player, he's not Northern Irish, he might be someone who can add benefit to our squad. And he's very versatile too. If you have a look at the squad in general, it's not as bad on the homegrown front now because Lewis Scott is homegrown in the nation and at the club. The same will happen again next year with Morgan Griffiths. The only problem at the minute is Michael Hammond doesn't look like we'll be coming back. And that means we're going to be a little bit short when it comes to homegrown in the nation and homegrown at the club. I am also making a big bold call up front because we've managed to surprisingly get a lot of players tied down to new contracts. The average wage has gone up slightly, but we've managed to tie people down a bit. Brian Farmer in the end reduced his terms to 500 quid a week and everyone else is 400 or under. So it's not too disastrous. What we have got though is an unhappy Cameron Cooper who's leaving at the end of his contract. I've tried to sell him, but that's not come off. We've also got Jonathan McElhatton unhappy, one of the regular summer ones about the training facilities, him and Griffiths the same. So Mark Wilson, who was third choice last year, is going to step up and get a go as the #1 striker, and we'll see how he gets on. So that is the big news of the summer so far. There's not an awful lot of it. So what we're going to do as a result of that is head into both legs of this Europa FC match. It should be a win for us. We've had a good pre-season against some poor teams. We built the fitness up a little more than last year. But this is a tie we are expected to win. We are the better team of the 2 here. Larne have got a side from San Marino. I would fully expect them to beat them. And then going further down, who would be the third one here? Glentoran, they're away in Kazakhstan. So I'm not quite sure how that one will go. We've got to make sure we do our job first. This is the 11 we've gone for today. And it will not surprise you in the slightest. Because we've got Neil Kane in goal. Wilson and Bell the fullbacks with Cooper and McClelland at centre-half. No idea why that bit's not there this time. Whitehall and Daniels the midfield two, and Pardee and Varma the wingers, and then Morgan Griffiths in the number 10. And the one surprise is Mark Wilson up front. Mukul unhappy, drops to the bench. I've got to play the striker that's the best on paper. The other thing I didn't really realise about Wilson, he's 6'4" and he's really good in terms of jumping reach. So it might be another facet to our game that we didn't have previously. He is the homegrown one as well. It makes real sense to give him a go. So we're going to get into this game. It is a big one. It's a real opportunity to get through again. And that European money, after last year's little run, it is crucial that we try and back it up. Well, again, we're playing one of those sides from an unplayable nation now, albeit there's a lot less of them in game now. But this is one where there's only 6 subs. It's a semi-pro league anyway. We are actually the favourites for this, and rightly so. So let's go and show we can do it. We should get through in this first round, as should Larne for sure. Let's see if Glentoran can do it as well, and if we can set up a date with Salzburg. Into the first leg away in Gibraltar. He did say it was going to be 29 degrees, which might be a struggle. Not going to be getting much from a fan base here, are we? Into the first leg we go. I've turned the music off this time so I don't get in any trouble. We showed it last season. I don't want to get overexcited every single year. We'll do it each time we go into a new competition. For now though, loving the graphics. Let's go and get into the first half. Well, early doors is a goal kick for Europa. Big ball downfield towards Cope the forward. Cooper heads away. It's a big pitch here actually, which might be a problem for us. We're used to one that's a lot smaller as Cope gets it wide to Cipollina. Good start from the Gibraltans here. Chance to get the cross in. Danino delivers it to the back post. McClelland heads away. And Rush will pick it up on the left. Back in again. Pepper in the box with crosses as it's headed away to Varma. That is my only worry in this run at the minute. Is if Bell gets injured. We haven't got another left back at the moment. Still looking for that replacement for Hammond. Ball into the box to Wilson. Oh, that's the added threat we were talking about. 6'4", rises above the centre halves. But he's not able to take advantage. It crashes the woodwork. It stays 0-0. We're 10 minutes gone. We're very much on top. And we've got a corner now again. Outswinger from Daniels with his left foot to the back post to McClelland. Headed over the bar. We are definitely creating chances. Lana still 0-0. In fact, they've just scored. Lana ahead against Folgore of San Marino. So it's starting to look good for Northern Ireland. Can we add a goal too? Missed header from Cooper as McClelland picks it up for Bell. There's not really any pressure on us in our own half, so we should be able to find chances. As Bell brings the ball forward again, just goes for the long one right towards Pardee, beats his fullback, and now he's got 3 in the box. Fires it across, Farmer's there. First touch is poor, second one is good. The goalkeeper gets a hand on it, but it's only onto the woodwork, and it dribbles over the line as my voice disappears. Who cares? We're 1-0 up in the Europa Conference, and it looks like we're going to the second round. Sean Dyche is in the building. And what we didn't want is to be going from kickoff. Bear with me a moment. There we go. I've got a voice again. Only a slight glitch in the show. As it's out to Danino on the right-hand side. He carries the ball forward. No pressure on him. Big punt over the top. They're playing really direct here, Europa. Maybe just trying to get 2 strikers in, but it's not working. As Varma goes back to Bell. Comfortable on the ball. Again, no pressure. And no real 12th man from the home support, which helps. As Cooper switches it to Wilson. He carries it forward over halfway. The fullback's pushing forward aggressively here, and Pardee plays inside to Wilson again. Big ball over the top towards Griffiths. He runs in behind. Poor defending. Griffiths takes full advantage. It is 2-0, not even 20 gone. And this has gone exactly as I expected. We've now basically got probably a League 2 standard team when our first 11's out. And that is showing here. As Hernandez picks the ball up at the back to Duarte. Again, they're going for the aimless pump forward and it's not working for them. This could be a cricket score if we play our A game, as Varma gets down the left-hand side. Took him a long while to score last season, not quite so long this time around, celebrating his new contract in style. As here he is again, Bell overlapping, goes back to Daniels instead. He plays the centre-half Cooper. Everyone was in the Europa half there. As Daniels chips it over, Wilson's in, left-back plays him on. He chests it down, rounds the keeper, and starts the season in style. 3-0 in 20 minutes. It is an absolute riot at the minute. And Lana winning as well. Glentoran, how are you getting on? We'll find out in a moment. But for now, looking really good for us. And I think it's already job done. It's just about being professional. As McClelland wins a header in there. Flicked on by Griffiths. But we know that Europa, they've only got to get lucky with one long ball. Cooper makes the mistake by missing the header. And there it is. 3-1 just like that. Complacency and errors are always going to cost you. Not sure how many headers Cooper's missed in this game already. It's not a good sign. 30 minutes gone. We've given them a lifeline. Glentoran are 2-0 down as well. So Kazakhstanis are definitely getting through there. Glentoran, we mentioned it, didn't we, at the start of the summer? With it not being Coleraine or Ballymena, someone like that, we're going to end up losing coefficient points. Larne have now got to make up for it. We've got to try and get through here as Griffiths gets in again. Lovely finish, Morgan Griffiths. The 3-goal lead is restored and still 10 minutes to the break. Lovely finish, lovely through ball. We're 4-1 up away in Gibraltar. Well, better news elsewhere as Larne get a second goal before the break. Of course, our hosts here have scored their only shot on goal. But for us, we've had loads of them. And if we can take a couple more chances, this will be a real nice second leg where we can play some of the younger ones. As Bell brings it down the left wing. Intercepted with a good challenge, but we don't want to see too many sliding challenges on him. He is someone I'll rest for the last half an hour. Just make sure we protect him. As Daniel switches the play to Wilson and Pardy's down the line. Tried to look for him, but instead went back to McClelland. Here is Daniels. Out to Wilson again on the right-hand side. He's got the overlap if he needs it, and Pardy picks it up. Goes backwards again. Options inside of him. Plays to McClelland and Daniels. Chance to chip forward, and Pardy's out on the right wing. Brings it down. The cross is blocked to Griffiths. He's had a really good game so far. Whitehall chips over. Wilson's in again. It's a lovely first-time finish. 5-1 to Lisburn Distillery. And that is the perfect start to the half. We'll see out a few more minutes, then we'll go and rest some players. Well, 10 minutes gone in the second half. I was about to make the subs, but it is a corner kick. Griffiths gets the ball on the right-hand side. Chance to cross it in. Deflects all over the place. Cleared away. And here we are 10 minutes into the second half. Jaffet and Pardy down the right. McClellan still up from a set piece, I presume. Ball clears it long downfield. Cope knocks it down, but Whitehall's there first. They just can't cope with the intensity. And Pardy takes on his man. Options down the line. Whitehall's played onside. 3 in the middle. Griffiths is one. Oh, it squirms under the keeper. I was sure it had been tipped wide, but it squirms in for 6. It's getting a bit embarrassing now. Let's see what the Glentoran score is. We'll make our changes too. We'll get some people a rest because it's been easy work, hasn't it? Instead of me and R in here, let me make them and we'll be back in a minute. Well, we've made 5 subs, but it's really quiet in this game down. The good news elsewhere, though, is that Larne have got a third, Glentoran have got one back and potentially still in the game. And we have now got a 7th with Jake Cooper. So it's not even the fact that as Larne get their 4th, we're just dominant sides now. We're good level League 2 sort of sides. As Poate, one of the subs, we brought him and Scott on the wings. We brought Wood on at left back, Jones on centre half, Burns in midfield. And we're still looking rampant as Griffiths gets in. That's a penalty, is it? Doesn't need to be because Wilson got in one-on-one. But when he missed his chance, you'd have hoped the referee came back. Wasn't to be. Lots of heavy score lines here. Larne 5 up, we're 7-1 up. And both of us are already through. I think, albeit we're playing against minnow nations, we are showing that we've taken that step. Northern Irish football going in the right direction. Let's see how Linfield got on in a Champions League and whether Glentoran came back into it. Well, I was heading off to see how Linfield got on as Glentoran lost 3-1 by the way. And I just found this message that Ryan Dunn, a regen manager, has taken over at Linfield. He replaces Andy Waterworth, who's been poached by Cardiff. We were offered an interview by Cardiff and by Charlton Athletic. But look at the other favourite for the job, Dirk Kuyt, who again has been managing Bristol City, Adu Den Haag. He's got decent attributes and he's a reputable name. Whereas Ryan Dunn, they've gone for a younger, inexperienced manager. He's not got the worst attributes in the world. So we saw it with TNS in our FM21 Build Nation. When TNS replaced their manager, they had a real downturn. So I just hope that this isn't Linfield losing their competitiveness. For now, let's see how they got on in the Champions League, shall we? They played against Radnicki away and drew 0-0. So that's not the worst start for them. And that would have been his first game in charge, you presume. So we'll keep an eye on how they get on in the second leg. And we'll hope that Glentoran can produce a turnaround. For us and Larne, it's party time already. Well, here we go then. Time for the second leg against Europa. It's job done already, let's be honest. The same applies to Larne. So we'll be keeping our eyes on Glentoran. We have lost out on 2 of the 3 players we wanted to sign this summer. And Boyo has gone, and the other one, Rothwell, is our championship interest now, so there's no chance we're getting him. We've also got some good news on Linfield, though. They did sneak through in a Champions League qualifier. and that means they only need to win one more game. So fingers crossed they'll be on their way to group stage football again. For now though, let's get through the tactical meeting. We'll go and pick our team. Only 400 fans in, that's ridiculous. Let's go and pick our 11. Okay then, full rotation except from Curtis Bell. It's an opportunity to give everyone a run out. They deserve it. They're all a big part of this squad. And in a game where there's nothing riding on it, in a big competition, it could be crucially important. Ben Williams now will probably have to reject his loan deal away as we haven't got a centre-half there. So let's go and submit the team. Let's go and get into the second leg. How many will we win by this time? 4 changes for Europa from the first leg. We, of course, have made just the 10, including a goalkeeper and only Curtis Bell because we haven't got a replacement. You won't be able to hear the music, but it's still partying here for me. It's 300 odd fans in the upper tier of Windsor Park. At least let them in the bottom tier, man. Come on. I'm not sure why we've had to move for this one. I'm sure we don't for the first round normally. But let's go and get into it. The second leg at Windsor Park and an opportunity to try and get to double figures. Incidentally, the 7-1 became our biggest ever win since we've managed Distillery. Of course, we did have a couple of years where we were infamous for being 1-0 to the Distillery. But despite that, we managed to get a great result as we're here on the right with Jim Wood. Duarte picks it up. I can still hear the music playing as Curtis Bell at the back post, the only man to keep his place. Yes, through necessity, but he's somehow popping up in a 6-yard box. That tells you how comfortable our team feels. He is up there trying to win headers instead of doing his defensive duty. It worked this time, 1-0 on the night, 8-1 on aggregate as Bagley picks the ball up in midfield, carries it past the centre circle, has options left and right. McElhatton's one, it's a good challenge, finds Lewis Scott. McCann hasn't yet scored for the club, I don't think. Finds Bagley, chance to shoot, just over the bar. Still carrying on the way we left off. Let's see how the other games are going. Well, weirdly, Glentoran have disappeared off the face of the earth on that screen, but Folgore are 2-0 down to Larne already, so they're getting a very comfortable win too. Probably challenging us for the biggest win of the round. Although Viking I saw did win 8-0 too, as Williams gets it wide to Wood. Skipper for the day, lays it inside to Williams. He finds Robert Burns. Has options, but instead just keeps the ball. There's no rush to get forward here. And this team isn't as good as the one we put out last week, so I don't expect miracles. As Bagley turns right, then goes back to Williams. Chips up to McElhatton. Header away is only as far as Bagley. We're first to every second ball. Delivers to McElhatton. He can't hit the target. Having his little tantrum at the minute. It is affecting his scoring form. But for now, it remains 1-0 on the night. Glentoran have gone behind on the night as well. So it will just be the three of us flying the flag in Europe. We need a better side to qualify. Coleraine have got to have a revival. As here are Europa in goal. 10 to go to half-time. They're keeping the ball all right, but let's be honest, they've got no threat at all. Bell wins the header there for Bagley, and it's an onslaught. Up to McElhatton. Was he onside? Manages to finish it off the goalkeeper. I'm not sure this will count. No, it doesn't. And we got a little bit of a clue there. Was kind of ruined by the little goal animation. Because it said Jonathan McElhatton goal. But if it's a goal that counts, it says first goal of the season, second goal, etc. That one just said goal. And then it got disallowed. So we found the telltale sign. We still lead 1-0 at half-time. It is 8-1 on aggregate. And Larne flying 2. 2 sides going through out of 3. It's not the worst in the world, is it? We reached the hour mark and it's been quiet, certainly in attacking areas. So McElhatton will come off for Cameron Cooper. Going to bring Varma on the left wing as well. Can Cooper put himself in a shop window? We'll wait and see. McCann will come off for Morgan Griffiths. And I'm also looking defensively. Curtis Bell again. Can we get someone on for him? I think we can. We'll go for Callum Wilson. We'll switch sides with Jim Wood. Can't play there, but it doesn't matter, does it? And then what else can we do? We've got one sub left. I don't want to bring anyone on yet. We'll leave it for now. We've got half an hour to go. It's been a very comfortable night, and I'm very grateful for that. So here we are on halfway with Robert Burns. 5 minutes later. Chance to break forward. Jones playing short football with him. We're not in a rush to get forward again. Wood, the skipper, chips over to Varma. 2 in the middle. Cooper's one of them. Shots blocked, and it's cleared away downfield. Only as far as Williams, though. The onslaught continues. Here comes Wood to Burns. Nice 1-2. Cross into the box. Wilson's up. He was trying to get in at the back post this time. Bagley back to Burns. 25 yards out. Chance to shoot, but goes back to Williams. It's so comfortable. He chips it forward towards Griffiths. Rush will get there first. He punts it away. Only as far as Cope, who knocks it down well, actually. Parody gets it forward. Williams nicks in. It's good defending, and Jones can start again. Here is Robert Burns. Chips over towards Cooper. Poor header away, but Duarte will mop up. He chips forward. This is not a key highlight, SI. It really isn't. You could come back about now if there's going to be something. As Bagley knocks it into Griffiths. That was the key bit. A brilliant finish from Morgan Griffiths. A hat-trick in the first leg. A goal in this one. We are one away from double figures. I'm going to go and make the final change in a minute. But what a performance it's been. As the Torres picks it up from the centre kick. He goes back to Hernandez. Are we going to see all of this game now? We are making our squad stronger when we bring players on. It's a long ball forward. Going to be the goalkeeper to come, is it? Him and Williams getting a bit of a mix-up. Almost like rolling back 2 or 3 years, isn't it? Ethan Ross and Ben Williams. As Jones brings it forward to Burns. And Williams again. Again, very confident in possession. As Puarte on the right to Bagley. We're working through everyone here. It's lovely football. Griffiths chips forward. Cooper making a run on the shoulder. Doesn't quite reach him. Hernandez will clear. Again, a big one forward. Cope brings it down. And now they can counter here, Europa. They've actually got 5 forward. Duarte on the right. Will they get themselves the goal? Duarte cuts in. Good challenge, Burns. Only to his teammate. Duarte crosses again. Parody at the back post. Ross tips it down for Cope. And there is the goal. 9-2 on aggregate. No, it's not going to count. Well, maybe I've lied about that little animation then. Because that one did say first goal of the season. But it equally didn't count. Let's go and make the final sub. I'll shuffle people around. So Wilson is going to go centre-half. Puarte right back. And I'm going to get Wilson on as well. I know someone will play out a position. Probably Cameron Cooper, to be honest. Wilson through the middle. Let's see if he can add to his tally from the first leg. Goal kick for Europa. Big ball forward. They've got 16 minutes to keep it in single figures. As Bagley tries his best but does not win the challenge. And they're actually having a better spell here. Parody in from the left. Shot deflects, but Ross manages to deal with it. We do get away with one, but we're definitely looking weaker now at the back. I guess we've got no left back on. We're playing a winger on the right-hand side. There are some mitigating factors. As Varma goes back, can we have that threat going forward now? Basically got 3 of our first 4 up front. As Wilson gets in, awful defending, and very good instinctive play from Mark Wilson. Lovely finish into the bottom corner. He read the game where no one else did. It is 10-1 on aggregate. It is an absolute demolition job. This is the best we've ever played in Europe, albeit the opposition isn't great. So here we are with Duarte on the right for Europa. Duarte heads away the cross at the back post. Rush brings it down again and finds Hernandez. They are having more of this last half an hour. Duarte gets it on the right side of the box. Wood flies in there. Manages to get away with it. Looked like a 2-footed lunge to me. I was fearing the red card as Wilson holds it up. Gets down the left. No one can keep up with him. It's brilliant play from the sub. To the byline he goes. There's support from Varma. In he goes. Shots through the keeper. That is shocking goalkeeping. 4-0 on the night. And he really should have saved that. It just sort of fumbled under him. Very weak wrist there to try and get a hand on it. 11-1 on aggregate. Glentoran have got one back. Larne have gone 4 up on the night. 9-0 on aggregate. It is a very similar job for us too. But now we get through the easy job and we go to the other extreme. We play a Salzburg side with loads of good players. Here we are then. Salzburg, the opponents in the next round. That will be the next episode. They've got a sort of mix of young Austrian players who are very good and then experienced players from the English leagues on 20-25 grand a week. So you've got Carlin Grant from West Brom, Josh Brownhill's in there as well. Who else do we see? Pape Sarr, some really good players. So it's going to be a tricky test this. 86 grand crucially into the coffers. We passed the £1 million mark again. And hopefully we'll be able to get some bigger crowds in for the Salzburg matches. That will be the next episode. We'll cancel the friendly and we will be back to face the Austrian Giants. A real big test for us. We saw what we did against Besiktas last year, but this team has got so much more quality. We've got the leagues loaded now. Surely it's going to be a bit trickier. If you want to stay up to date and find out and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know down in the comments if you think we'll get past Salzburg. And do you think Larne can get through again? We'll see who they face next time around too. If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of days' time. But before that, we're back with the head coach tomorrow. It's a tricky season in that one. And we've got a big deadline day around the corner. Fingers crossed Dougie will help us out there. There's also links to the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the blog channel in the eye above. If you're in the US, check out HelloFresh down in the description below. And I'll see you back here in 2 days' time for Lisburn Distillery v RB Salzburg. Now that's a mismatch.